What inspires change? What motivates us? It's what's inside that moves us. What moves you? Get the Scion story at Scion.com.
Many of the civilian employees working for Joint Region Marianas, Naval Base Guam, Andersen Air Force Base, and the Guam National Guard have returned to work after being furloughed as a result of the government shutdown last week. While the shutdown remains in effect, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel over the weekend announced that most of Department of Defense civilians placed on emergency furlough would be asked to return to work beginning this week. At the Guam Guard, Public Affairs Officer Captain Ken Ola says more than 50 of the 140 furloughed personnel are being recalled.
Some of them have already reported in today. The decision was made this morning to recall them, and some of them have reported in already. So about close to about 57 of them have returned to duty.
Joint Region Marianas couldn't provide the number of employees being recalled by Joint Region, the Navy, and the Air Force on Guam, but Deputy Public Affairs Officer Colleen San Nicolas Perez says most of them will be returning to work, with some workers already reporting for duty today. In a statement to PNC today, Perez said, "The Navy's priority has been getting our civilian workforce back as quickly as possible, and we are grateful that a majority of our civilians will resume duty." About 270 civilian employees of Joint Region, Naval Base Guam, and Andersen Air Force Base were furloughed as we entered the new fiscal year last week, without a budget being passed by Congress. But according to Secretary Hagel's weekend announcement, the Pay Our Military Act, signed into law by President Barack Obama just before the shutdown began, allows DoD to eliminate furloughs for employees whose responsibilities contribute to the morale, well-being, capabilities, and readiness of service members. In addition to those furloughed, the Guam Guard also lost the help of about 40 personnel who were on temporary active duty orders that expired on September 30th. And without continuing resolution, Captain Ola says the Guard doesn't have the provisions to activate supports. The lack of personnel has already forced the Guard to cancel a weekend training event.
Of course, that impacts readiness one way or another, in a sense, because this is the time for training for majority of our soldiers and our airmen. So again, it impacts the readiness and our training opportunities.
The budget impasse has also affected the Guard's ability to maintain property and equipment, which is why Ola says active duty members are relieved to have some of the civilian workforce back.
The ones that are returning are permanent technicians, military technicians, who do really core duties and core missions for us to help us support both our deployed personnel and also our day-to-day functions.
Guard leadership coordinated a presentation for laid-off and furloughed workers last Friday to provide information on services available to them from the Agency for Human Resources Development and the Guam Department of Labor. Ola says about 50 people attended the program. Betsy Brown, PNC News.